Yes, of course. Hey, my name's Ryan, and welcome to Training in the Yard, episode 5. Here we go. All right, let's get a little organized here. We're all about professionalism, making our station look clean. That end is... maybe that's for a barbell over there. Okay. Well, we can make it look somewhat professional, right? Let's just kind of get all the ducks in order here. Or is it ducks in a row? That's it. Get all the ducks in a row. Okay. All right. Obviously, I put together this squat rack for the session today, and I wanted to do this for 2 reasons. Number one, we have some bench press today and some chin-ups, and I wanted to be able to do those without moving my nice Rogue squat rack into the backyard, and it has a ton of weight on it right now anyway, so I didn't want to deal with all that. And this Cap Fitness squat rack is only $100 from Walmart, so that's kind of a deal that's hard to beat. And it feels like okay quality. It says it has a weight limit up to 500 pounds. You know, I'll give it a decent testing today and a much better testing on the last episode when we squat, but I think it'll hold up well. And then secondarily, I've just enjoyed training in the yard so much that I'm just gonna leave this squat rack underneath my back porch, and whenever I feel like training in the yard, I can literally just pick it up and move it out here, and I think that'll be a lot of fun and just a unique element. So cool. This is $100, and if you wanted to get started somewhere with equipment, get started with a squat rack. You know, I don't know if I can recommend this one yet or not because I haven't tested it. Maybe at the end of this episode and the next one, I can give you a better analysis, but start with a squat rack, start with a barbell and some plates, and you have the equipment you need to train hard and get fit, get strong, get powerful. Let's get started with the session today when we look at our Team Builder app. All right, pulling up the Team Builder app to look at my training for the day. And today is a bit of a plyo, sprint, and upper body day. Now, I'm not gonna lie, yesterday was New Year's Eve, and had a bunch of friends over to the house, and I promise I didn't get into any tomfoolery at all, and I'm not dragging at all this session. Now, I gotta be honest, feeling a little tired, feeling like I'm dragging, but I'm hoping as I get warmed up and the session starts flowing, that'll get some endorphins going, getting some feel-good chemicals in my body, and I will smash the session just like any other one. So the first thing we're going to get started with is our warm-up, and we are literally just going to jump some rope. So let me go grab that. All right, jump rope. We're going to go 3 rounds of 60 seconds, just trying to flow with the jump rope. If I mess up, I'll just keep going, get back on the horse. Here we go. Love jumping rope, and I think it's a great introductory plyo as well. Very low intensity, and you can just pump out a ton of reps, right? Like, you never count your reps with jumping rope. You just jump rope. One of the funniest YouTube comments I've ever gotten was I opened up a video with me jumping rope, and someone commented, "Dude, your jump rope form is awful. Based on that, I'm done with this video." Cool. I think it's because I'm a little handsy with my jump rope, right? Like, I flick at the bottom, but it's like, really? You're not even gonna give me a shot because I'm doing that? Do I look, or do I just look at that bad jumping rope? Questions I'll never know the answer to. All right, I've got 2 rounds now of getting into some mobility. Again, with the mobility piece, just trying to extend the warm-up and chase some greater ranges of motion. We're gonna go extensive ankle bounds, and I'm actually gonna up the intensity a little bit on these since I did some jump roping. I'm gonna go 2 sets of 10, and I'm gonna try to just put a little bit of mustard on these. Try to get up in the air a little bit. Listen, I'm gonna do my best today, people. I'm gonna do my very best. I'm gonna give you everything I have, even if that's only 75%. I can just feel my synapses are not firing how they usually do. Right dog is struggling. All right, next we're gonna get into something called the pretzel stretch. And this one is literally, well, not literally, gonna just kind of tie you up in a pretzel. I don't even really know how to explain it, just kind of watch, right? And you're just gonna pull, try to get your shoulders on the ground. Whoa. Oh, I love this one. When I was a personal trainer, I used to love just throwing the stretch in right at the end, because as soon as you pull your legs apart and get your shoulders on the ground, it just your body feels like it's being like twisted like a corkscrew. Yeah, it feels great. Yeah.
He needs some milk.
All right. And finally, the last thing I'm going to try to get into for this warm-up are some cartwheels. I figure I'm in my backyard, I have the space, so let's try to get into it. And I love the idea of gymnastics and athletic bodyweight movements as a warm-up, and just as a general piece of strength and conditioning, strength training from a coordinative aspect, from a strength aspect, ability aspect, capacity, whatever. Throw any word you want in there. It just makes sense that we should be able to do these things. I haven't done a cartwheel in I don't know how long. I'm just gonna kind of go for it. Don't make fun of me. I don't even know how to begin. That felt okay. How did it look on camera? Try it again. I feel like I should start like this, but I don't know how to coordinate that, so I'm just gonna kind of roll into it. All right, I know I'm probably not doing these right. I know I could probably work on some things, but listen, it's about the effort, all right? I'm trying. Never been coached on how to do a cartwheel and what's the proper way. I did check the video though. I think I need to try to get my legs higher, keep them straight. So I'm gonna try that here. I'm gonna really go for it, really commit. That felt somewhat graceful. Man, I want to be able to enter it in like a graceful way. I just can't wrap my mind around it. Here we are talking about coordination. I'm as stiff as a board. All right. Okay. I like it. All right. The next thing we're going to get into, the plyometrics for the day, are the repeated broad jumps. All right, these are one of my favorite plyometrics. Number one, they're just fun to do. Number two, you can accumulate a lot of good volume with them. Number three, they work on timing of force application. Would it be a vector quality? I think it's a vector because it's force plus direction. Maybe? I don't know. Does that mean anything practical? I doubt it. We're getting on a tangent. Again, synapses aren't firing today, people. Where was I even going with this? Not only force application, but the direction through which you are applying force matters, right? So like just being really, really precise with how you apply force. This is a good teaching tool for that because we want to cover ground here. We don't want to jump up, we want to jump out. So I'm going to go 3 sets, 6, 5, 4. I'm going to progressively build intensity with each set. I'm going to go 6 reps. Take it kind of chill on this first one, and again, build intensity as I go. You know what, man? I was gonna save the crop top for later in the video, but feeling unathletic with the flannel on as I jump. Athleticism is about to go through the roof right here. Let's do a set of 5. Honestly, feel like a stallion. No. Feel like a gazelle jumping through an open prairie. Are gazelles on prairies in Africa? We got one more set of 4. Let's just absolutely turn the burners on here. Test out the springs. Kind of want to try that one more time because that's fun and I feel like I can do a little bit better. I say it all the time, I'll say it again. Never take jumping out of your program. Always jump. It's a great warm-up, and the benefits that it has in terms of potential adaptations for your body, keeping it healthy and robust, it's a no-brainer. All right, come on, let's put some muscle on this. Let's get out 4 good reps. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, warmth is getting there. Body's starting to stoke the furnace a little bit. The next thing we have on the list are 20-yard sprints, 5 reps, and we are going to do each sprint from a different starting position. So I have a couple of police officers that I train, and I love incorporating sprints like this, specifically where I'm having them start in different positions, just because it's useful to know how to get up in the most efficient manner from various positions and either handle a situation or get out of a situation. So, and it's just athletic and fun. So I will probably just do a couple warm-up sprints from an athletic stance, and then I'll get into my 5, build intensity with each one. I didn't want to do it to y'all, but I got on the Monarchs today, so expect some world record times here. These should have been the shoes in the Sandlot that Benny the Jet Rodriguez used to outrun the beast. I mean, the movie would have been over right then and there. We wouldn't have even had that long montage where they're racing through the town, you know what I mean? Okay, felt pretty good. It's always a toss-up when I sprint as to how the legs are gonna feel, but that felt good. Listen, I tell you, back in the day, if you were a middle infielder and I hit a lazy ground ball to you, you better get that ball over to first, because Rye Dog's coming down the tracks. All right, 5 sets of 1. I'm gonna start right here. Let's just be cool, calm, and collected this first set. Try to get up to like 80-85% or so. That's why cleats are important in a grassy backyard, but I don't have any, so let's just be a little more cognizant of that. All right, last one here. Let's just get set up from a good 3-point stance and just let it fly a little bit. One of the reasons I've enjoyed training in the yard is that you don't realize how constrained you are by the space that you lift in until you have so much more space, particularly open space. When you train in a place that has open space, well then ideas will probably just flood to you in terms of what you are actually like capable of doing. If you can find an open space to train, there is an endless amount of possibility with your programming. So much more room for activities. I feel like those need a lot of practice, but that's why we're doing them, right? You gotta start somewhere. Let's move on to the next part of the session. I am feeling better, feeling kind of energized, mowing this session down. Let's move on to the lifting portion, and we're going to start off with some soft touch and go close grip bench press. Fun prescription for this today. We are going to build up to a heavy single. Sorry if there's some wind in this, y'all. A little bit of a windy day today. Something not quite adding up here. First thoughts, the loaded barbell on this, a little bit more sway than I anticipated, and everything is screwed down pretty tight now. Some of that could be because it's on a piece of plywood in the yard. Don't really like that. Hey, she'll buff though. All right, let's just start getting after it. Love bench press from like a psychological point of view. There's not a whole lot you have to get ready for. It's not like this big crazy thing that's just gonna take all this energy. Listen, just kind of get up there, freaking grab the bar, start pressing. Let's raise those J hooks by 1. And that'll be perfect. When you're doing a self lift off, which honestly I recommend you learn how to do, because unless you're training at like a powerlifting gym or a very niche gym where the majority of people there really know like etiquette of training and self lift off and things like that, if you ask someone for a spot, there's a high chance at a gym that's not like that where you're going to get a lift off that is probably going to be disadvantageous to you. You know, you might get someone who kind of like picks it up and almost drops it on you. So learn how to self lift off, and the key with self lift offing is make sure it starts at a good height, number 1. And so you don't want to like do a rep pressing it out, but you also don't want to have to protract your scapula and like get into this rounded position to lift the bar off. Find a good sweet spot, start from there. Let's go 225. It's not going to take us too long at all to get to the top set on this. And then the next step for a good self lift off is I like generally starting with my eyes underneath the barbell, and that gives me just enough room to pick the bar up and not hit these J hooks when I'm pressing, but also it's not so far away that I have to do this huge pullover, right, in order to get the weight back into the J hooks. So general rule of thumb there. Let's go ahead and put on 2 freaking plates and a quarter. The sun is directly in my eyes as I'm bench pressing. However, I like to think that on camera my skin looks like it's being kissed by the sun, and I'm building a nice golden tan. What are you gonna do? Now I would absolutely say that a standard bench press, and by standard I just mean what is acceptable for the majority of the population, is a soft touch and go, where you are utilizing the stretch shortening cycle to your advantage in order to help you lift more weight. A lot of the times powerlifting technique and standards leak into just general training, and a powerlifting bench necessitates that you pause the bar and that the bar completely stops before you start pressing back up. If you're not a powerlifter, don't worry about that. You don't have to pause it. And honestly, both benches are good to train anyways. It's good to train your bench press with a soft touch and go and try to utilize the stretch shortening cycle. And then it's also beneficial to train your bench press with a pause and try to work on building starting strength, or what I would just call concentric strength, the ability to produce force without the assistance of that stretch shortening cycle. Let's chalk up a little bit here, start locking in. Within 2 or 3 sets, we'll hit that top single. All right, let's rip this, come on. What'd you come out here to do? My friend, you came out here to lift some weights. That's what we're gonna do, let's go, come on. Oh yeah, we got a little more in the tank. Right now, I'm gonna go let's go 390. The key to a good bench press, push as hard as you can. That's it, that's all you gotta do. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, good call there, good call. Whew. Let's stop it there. All right, 390. Not bad. I'll take that. Uh, 22, I think. Holy cow, that is not fun. All right, as I transition into the next exercise, this is a great time for our Training in the Yard book review, where I not really review the book, because it's hard to review a good book within 30 to 60 seconds, but more so introduce you to a book that I think can potentially help your training journey. And on the menu today, we have Phenomenology, The Basics by Dan Zahavi. I was introduced to the concept of phenomenology through the previous book that I mentioned, the Strength Training Manual, and it piqued my interest there, so I wanted to try to explore that a little bit further. A lot of the books on phenomenology that you'll read, like The Phenomenology of Spirit, I believe, by Hegel. Another one, like detailing the history of philosophers and phenomenology, is At the Existentialist Cafe. And then there's a ton of other literature out there where you're reading about phenomenology, but it is so obscure that it's hard to ascertain anything about phenomenology, like in and of itself, like what even is it? And so that's why I love this book right here, because it literally introduces you to the concept or the philosophy of phenomenology in a manner that is completely digestible and coherent. This book helped me grasp how I would define phenomenology for just anyone who's looking to get into it, and that is simply allowing the phenomena of the world to reveal itself to you, and trying to view those phenomena in the way they present themselves without any implicit bias imposed upon them on your behalf. From a training perspective, what does this even mean? How does this even relate to training? Well, it's so important that you are thinking about your training in a way that you're allowing your training to kind of like speak to you, right? So like just a few quick examples. Do you like doing sets of 10 on squats, or is it just something that you absolutely hate and you can't stand? Well, if you can't stand it and you like dread sessions like that, well then you can probably find a better way to try to create that same stimulus without having to do those high rep squats. Or just even thinking about it as, hey, my low back feels pretty tender today, and I think I'm going to dial back any exercises that are going to fatigue my low back even more. Like something as simple as just paying attention to your body and how it feels is within the bandwidth of phenomenology as well. This is the most important training tool that has influenced my training, and I believe made my training that much better for myself and my clients and the content that I create. And I strongly recommend you pick this book up, you give it a read, and you start using phenomenology as a tool to analyze your training. All right, let's quit frickin' yapping and lift some weights. Next on the menu is weighted shins. Now, I am skeptical as to how this rack is going to do with some chins, but there's only one way to find out, right? That's actually not bad. That'll definitely work. Here's the prescription. We're going to go 8. Now we're going to go 6-4-2 and really load these bad boys up. Try to not use any assistance for my lower half, but I'm going to allow a little bit because I want to load them up. And try to go heavy. It's not the easiest thing to do, to talk about the philosophy of phenomenology the day after New Year's Eve. So, cut me some slack, huh? All right, 6 reps. Get this completely out of the way here. No reason for it to be in the picture. Come on, Ryan. Think about the cinematography of this. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Let's go up to a 45 for my set of 4. 4 good reps. Oh, I love that. Now let's go a quarter and a plate here. Let's do 2 reps. Now another way that phenomenology has influenced my training, I guess I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but it's pointed me in a direction that I know I'm going to enjoy more, and I can still achieve the same results had I had chosen a different training modality that would elicit a similar adaptation. Some people might argue that you need to do what you must and not what you enjoy in training. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, right? There's so many different ways to skin a cat and chase a very similar adaptation. And for example, I would much rather do some weighted chin-ups and create more tension within less reps than having to pump out a ton of chin-ups with just my body weight, right? Like all I'm after here is mechanical tension and generating as much as possible. So if I add some weight, I can get there without having to do as many reps. One more, why not? And the last thing on the menu for today is the arm farm. If you are ever struggling with riding training for your arms, which you shouldn't, right? Just do some curls and some tricep extensions in whatever manner. Just program an arm farm. Give yourself 10 minutes. Okay? Give yourself, that scared me. Give yourself 10 minutes to superset a bicep and tricep exercise. Do as many sets as you can within that time frame, as many reps within like 8 to 12. Get yourself close to failure and let those pythons grow, baby. All right, I'm gonna do Atlas curls and skull crushers. I'm gonna only show you like 2 sets here, but that's the prescription. Let's get after it. You. Oh my. All right. Not a bad session overall. Definitely dragging throughout parts of that. That is episode 5 of Training in the Yard. We only have one more episode after this, y'all. And then who knows what'll happen after that. Hope you have a great new year. Hope you had a great New Year's Eve. Hope you were safe. Hope you continue to be safe, not only in lifting weights, but just, daily life. Let's take care of ourselves. Health is wealth. Training is fun.